Hey guys, hey MGTOW. How's it going, guys? Hey, thanks again for all the shares and everything. Ronin man here. Just got off the exercise bike, so I'm a bit winded. But I wanted to do a quick video about something that I got a message from a fellow MGTOW, and what he said was, he asked me like, how much is fuck you money, right? And for people that don't know the term fuck you money, it's a pretty common term these days. Basically means when you have enough money. It's self-explanatory in a way. It's like when you have enough money that you don't have to do what anybody else wants you to do. And you can basically, the extreme is like just tell people to fuck off, right? It's like, hey, I got money, fuck off, right? That's the concept, right? And I want to say first, I don't like the concept. I don't like the concept at all, man. You know, because it's ridiculous. For one, you don't have to have a lot of money to be free. You know, you don't have to have a ton of money. I mean, it's good to have a lot of money, and I really recommend not losing the hunger. And I guess that's the only risk, is that once you realize you can be free right now, you know, then it's like, oh my God, why should I work, right? Why should I improve myself, right? So I think that's the challenge we can talk about later, is how to keep yourself on the cutting edge, right? It's like the Warriors, they couldn't close out the series because they weren't hungry enough, right? Cavs were hungry in game 4. And that's a real thing. Being hungry is a real thing. So that's an issue, but that's not what people are talking about. They're saying like, what people's idea is fuck you money. What it is, I think I traced it back to a concept I saw in the 4-Hour Workweek, Tim Ferriss's book. And he said like, you know, basically that, you know, like a lot of people, what they do is they work super hard their whole life, so that they can, their dream is to retire, you know, when they're old, right? So they, you know, they basically work their ass off and they never get the benefits. You know, they never really like do what they think they're gonna do. And I tell you something, living here in Thailand and in Asia in general, I've seen this so many times. It's so rare, the type of guy who will cash out and actually do his, what do you call it, bucket list or whatever. You know, it's just it's a big farce, right? It's a big farce. Most guys never ever live their dreams. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. Let me go over a couple things, reasons why guys don't do what they think they're gonna do with this whole idea of fuck you money. Because let's just talk about the basics, right? When you're young, you're healthy, usually, most guys, right? And then when you get older, you need more medical care. So what's the most common excuse I hear from guys why they don't move to Thailand is that they are, for example, in the US or the UK, where the local, or Sweden, you know, where the local health insurance that you have, like say Medicare or you know, the NHS, in Japan the Kokumin Hoken, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like they say, well, it doesn't cover me in Thailand, so they say I'd love to go to Thailand, but I have this insurance, and so I have to stay here, right? So you know, it's just a fucking dude. Do you realize what a joke this thing is, man? You listen to idiots say this all the time, that they're going to have fuck you money and they're working hard for fuck you money. It's just another way. It's another way to not have a good life. It is to have these stupid ideas in your mind that you've never really tested. Use your fucking brain, guys. Like, use your fucking logic. Use your hard, you know, use the hard labor of really thinking about it. Like, does it really work? Is this concept that I'm basing my future life upon? Or is it all a fucking joke? Do I not really care? Am I really just giving up? I think that's what most guys are doing. They're just fucking giving up, right? And they're like, oh yeah, fuck you money. And they're just pussing out, right? They're pussing out. They're not gonna do their dreams. And even worse, they're not even gonna fucking try. That's the average guy. And so when you hear that working for fuck you money, you just say, well, let me tell you this. Ask him, who is their friend that actually got fuck you money and is actually doing it now, right? What did they do? It's not. It's just some ethereal dream, some dude on the fucking internet that's not anybody they know, and they don't really know how he did it. It might have been money from his parents. It could have been any kind of concept, things that you know that you don't even know about, right? He might have sold drugs. He might have done something fucking illegal, right? And then you know, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, he might have done something illegal where it's like something that you wouldn't be comfortable with in order to get that money, right? You know, and then you know, like, don't just put yourself in the category of it's going to work for you, right? So fuck you money is what it is another way to put off life. That's what it is. There's a million ways, guys. We are our own worst enemies, right? To get where you want to go, you need the hard work of thinking. And what I think you should do is be free right fucking now. Like whatever it is that you want to do, find a way to do it now. And if you can't do it now, you're never going to do it. And when I say now, I don't mean today. I mean like give yourself like, give yourself like say 6 months or something. You know what I mean? Like if you need to, I remember the first time I went overseas, I had to save money for a few months. I had to get a job where I got I worked in college, high hourly wage, and I saved the money, and then I left, right? So I had to sell my car. I had to do certain things, right? I don't mean that kind of stuff. I mean, that's action, man. That's like serious. Like I remember when I was saving the money to go abroad the first time, to live abroad forever, I remember I had a fire in my fucking belly, man. I had a fire, man. I was like fucking Kyrie Irving in Game 4, going to the fucking hoop. I mean, I didn't give a fuck if I broke my ankle. I didn't give a fuck, right? You know what I mean? I remember, actually, I was going to work one day and my fucking car caught on fire. Seriously, my engine caught on fire. It wasn't because I was running so hard. It just caught on fire. But it reminds me of that time, you know. It's like I was going so hard, you know. And I actually stopped and put the fucking fire out and fixed it and ended up selling the car like 2 weeks later. And there was nothing wrong with the car. All that happened is the electrical on top of the spark plugs, all those wires just burned. And I found out it was kind of a defect in the car, right? It was a Volkswagen GTI, 1984. And, it was a killer. I love that car. But the thing is that that was kind of a metaphor for my life. I was going so hard. I was working, like my friend was working 120 hours a week and getting double, triple time. And we were working so hard. I never worked 120, my friend did, but I worked fucking long time. I was a zombie, right? And the reason why is because I had a fucking dream, right? I said, fuck this place, man. Fuck the first world. I had been around the world. I had fucked girls all over the world. I had gone after college. I thought, man, I want to live a fucking exciting life, right? And I also knew something you guys don't know is that I had been around the world, and it only cost me $11,000 for 13 months, and that was back in 1989, right? And so I knew that you could do it cheap. I knew that you could find ways to figure it out. So basically, like, think about this. Have you always figured your life out? You know what I mean? Have you ever given up? You know what I mean? Like, did you ever end up in a homeless shelter? If you didn't, that means you got balls. That means that you fucking always try and you always get out of situations yourself. And you'll do the same thing overseas, man. You'll figure it out, man. Don't have faith in yourself, right? Fuck this fuck you money. I'm serious, man. It's such a bad concept that you need money to live your own life. You don't need a lot of money to live your own life. But, now this is the thing, this is a big, big but, is I think you should be rich as fuck because you're smart. So you make one tough decision, right? And you fucking live up to it, right? And it's out of the fucking box. Now next thing is you say, you know what, God damn it, I'm not gonna sit around in Thailand like a bunch of losers getting drunk every day and going to fucking bars, right? With a bunch of other fucking guys who are basically on the downhill, fucking tread, right? There's a lot of guys here, they're very successful in life, like they maybe sold a company for a lot of money. And there's a lot of successful guys here, actually, very wealthy guys in Thailand, tons of them. A lot of people don't know about that, don't talk about it, but there's a shit ton of successful guys in Thailand. I think Edward Savarine hangs out here a bit. He retired after sold Facebook half his shares, and then he went to Singapore, but it's like right next door, right? So like a lot of people hang out here, right? So there are a lot of successful guys here. But what happens is a lot of guys, once they get here, they go into a death spiral, because they can't control themselves, right? So this is the first time they've ever been able to do exactly what they want, right? So they just sit there and they just go to shit. That's what they do. They start dressing terrible, they start like not respecting themselves. They don't shave, they don't try. They don't do anything for their, you know what I mean? They're just drinking, they're just getting fat, they're like hanging out with bar girls. Bar girls are retarded, man. I never want to fucking spend 5 minutes with a fucking bar girl. In fact, I'm so not into bar girls, I can't even stand when I'm walking down the street here and I hear like a bar girl have a conversation with somebody. It's like the conversations are so stupid. Here's what it is. It's like this. It's like, tell me. I tell you. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. And then the guy's like, I tell you, no. It's like the guy's like, it's this fucking conversation just like for 5 minutes as you're walking next to these guys. And you're just thinking like, you look at the guy and he's like, you know, like a lot of these guys, if you talk to them, they're like college educated, master's degree, you know, and here they are. Here's where they've come to in their lives, where they just like have conversations like this, right? You know, and it's a result of a couple things, you know. I think the two things I'm telling you a lot of stuff in this video. One of them is you don't have anything stopping you from being free right fucking now, okay? Because the minute I made that decision, okay, to move overseas, I was free. It didn't matter that I was working, man. It was completely different than before. I mean, I was fucking going to work. I was excited. I was knowing what I was gonna do. I mean, I was electric, man. I was so tired because I was working like 90 hours a week, you know, and I was just like working my balls off. But it didn't matter because I had a dream, man. I had a fucking dream like Martin Luther King, man. I had a fucking dream, man. I'm like, I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna goddamn be free for my fucking whole life, you know. Like, who cares? 6 months, let's do it. Let's go, man, let's go. Another hour, sure, boss, sure. You know, that's what I was doing back then, you know. And but that's one thing, is that I had a dream. But then once you do it, you never ever can relax in life. If you want to succeed and you want to keep succeeding, you always have to like say, okay, where am I now, right? So my original dream was to get overseas. Then when I got overseas, I had no one watching me. I had no mother. I had no parents near me. I had no sister and brother watching me, right? And I was like, I think I've told you before, I was like sleeping with tons and tons of girls. I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. I was starting to lose discipline. I mean, I was in good shape. That was no problem, actually. I was in great shape. But I wasn't improving myself, and I wasn't realizing, like, you know, I was a 26-year-old guy who was like, you know, 25, 26, like that needed to do a lot of things in his life, right? It wasn't just about short-term goals. It was long-term goals, right? So then I had to meet like other solid dudes who were doing businesses, and I had to fix myself, right? There was nobody telling me. I was making like good money, actually, freelancing and stuff. You know, I was making good money. I was making cash. I had money in the bank. I had saved a ton of money. I was in the outside, it looked like I was doing great. I had tons of girlfriends. None of them were driving me around. Nobody was calling the shots in my life. I was free as a fucking bird. Tons of girls all over me. Freedom. I lived overseas. Had money in the bank. I was making money in the stock market. It was great. But I had bigger goals. That's not my goal. My goal is not to have a lot of money and screw a lot of girls. That's one small thing. But I have much bigger goals, man. I want to really do something in this fucking world. I don't know what it is sometimes, but I really want to do something big and something fucking great, right? So I'm always like thinking, what is that thing? Like, okay, I reached this goal, but what's my next goal, right? So you have to be careful. One thing is when you start reaching these goals, I want to just tell you in advance, is that you have to start saying, okay, right, is this enough, right? Once you get that goal, you say, no, it's not enough, right? So this whole idea of fuck you money is totally fucking slavery. It's another excuse to do fuck all in life, and basically just to be another fucking loser talking about what you're gonna do in the future. And then it's like that one boxer movie, you know, I could have been somebody, I could have been a contender, you know. It's like, yeah, I was gonna have fuck you money, but I lost it in the stock market, so I had to keep working, you know. Or like my wife, you know, and that's the other thing, man. Here's the fuck you money totally fucking joke, you guys. Just next time you hear this, start asking questions when you hear about fuck you money. You just say, what age are you gonna be? What age are you gonna have this fuck you money? How much money is it gonna be, right? And they're gonna say this and that. Hey, you know, what happens in real life is you get older, you start signing contracts for things, right? Those contracts are another thing that keep you stuck in one place. You start buying a house, right? You buy everything. Everything's a goddamn contract in the West. You got a contract for your fucking gym. You got a contract for your phone. You got a contract for your car. You know, you got a payment on your car. You got a house. You got all kinds of insurance. You got all kinds of shit. You sign contracts that are all tying you down. All those things tie you down. So the fuck you money, it doesn't really work. And also, you often, by then, most guys, they've already given in, and they've already got a fucking wife, and then or a girlfriend, and they're not going to go overseas, and you know what I mean? Like it's just like a 1% chance, right? A man can go where he wants, right? That's why how I found freedom in a free world is so essential to read. You got to read that, got to implement that in your life, right? So don't think of the future, think of today. If you want to do something, man, if you think that you want to live overseas, you got to start doing it today. Make a decision, go fucking do it. Make a realistic money amount you need. You know, for me, I forgot what it was that I wanted. It was I ended up having a lot less than I thought I would have, but I went anyway, you know. So that's the other thing. I didn't even reach my money goal at all because I had some kind of big payment. I can't remember what it was, but I still went. I still fucking went. I bought that ticket, you know. So that's the other thing is you want to have a goal, but basically you're going, man. Fucking, you're burning your bridges. You know what I mean? If you're going, you're just fucking going. It's like you're gonna figure it out. Like I said, like don't let anything stop you, man. Don't let anything stop you, and definitely don't let anything stupid like the idea of fuck you money. And you know, I got a friend and he's rich, and I asked him about this, and I said, hey, what's this idea about fuck you money? And he said something funny. He said, this guy's, he's rich and he's super young. He's like, I don't know what exact age is, but it's this mid-20s, right? And he's rich as fuck, right? So I asked him about fuck you money. I said, hey, what's the deal with this fuck you money stuff? And he said, he started laughing. He said, most guys with supposed fuck you money never say fuck you. And that really cracked me up because even if you have the money, they don't say fuck you, right? So it's like, that's the way, that's the concept. It's just it's another way to trick yourself, right? It's another way to trick yourself. And like, we don't need that. We got society we're working on. We got women. We got all kinds of stuff trying to control us, manipulate us. The last thing we need is ourselves, right? Break that one fucking out, right? Break out of that one. So there you go. That's the thought for the day. And gonna have a new episode coming up. It's gonna be pretty interesting. I think you'll like it. So thanks, guys. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for commenting. I really appreciate it. I don't know if you guys, I'd like to hear what you thought of the last one with my friend who was in the bull cuckold scene. I thought it was fucking hilarious. And it hasn't gotten a lot of views yet. I don't know why, but I think that fucking episode is fucking funny as fuck. Oh yeah. I'm gonna jump in the pool now, but I was gonna record outside, but they're doing some construction next door, so it's too noisy. So I decided to shoot this one inside. So hey guys, I hope you guys have a great day, man. I really appreciate you watching and commenting, man. It just keeps me going. So thanks, guys.